1, booster ignition, and liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next.
NASA's historic moon mission is officially underway. Tonight, 4 astronauts are on humanity's first lunar voyage in more than half a century. We're glad you're with us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. Just hours ago, 3 Americans and 1 Canadian blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida in front of a crowd of tens of thousands of people. The flight, meant to last 10 days, is NASA's biggest step yet towards establishing a permanent presence on the moon, and Coloradans have helped pave the way. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us now with more on that. Hey, Colton.
Hey, yeah, one of those Coloradans was watching from an MSU Denver classroom today. Dr. Lena Heffron worked on Artemis 1. It's the first in what's supposed to be a series of missions to put humans back on the moon and enable future missions to Mars. Dr. Heffron shared her experience with the students that she hopes will one day follow in her footsteps.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition.
Having been to one of these before,
Watching a rocket fly to the moon is a familiar space for some.
it's like hours and hours of this, right? Where you're listening to the loudspeakers and you're waiting.
In this crowded MSU Denver classroom, one person isn't just watching. She helped send it there.
For Artemis 1, I was the calibration scientist / engineer on the miniature neutron spectrometer, which was one of the secondary payloads for Artemis 1.
For MSU Denver Assistant Professor Dr. Lena Heffron, Artemis 2 is just the beginning.
It's the first stage to doing even more, right? So it's like, yeah, we're slingshotting these guys around the moon, right? Guys and gals, right? And then at some point, we're gonna land them on the moon, and we're going to be able to do science, and we're going to be able to do like technology exploration.
And this fall, she's bringing that expertise into the classroom.
No, it's not made of cheese. It's mostly made of basalt.
She says coming to Colorado was an easy choice.
A lot of astronauts come out of Colorado, right? So it's like, that's really cool.
Dr. Heffron wants to create a space that inspires more students to aim for the stars.
I grew up in an auto shop, and now I'm doing this stuff. Like, there is a pathway if you work towards it.
So in a room full of people watching history, she hopes one day her students will be making it.
You want to be able to be that professor who's like maybe this old geezer in the back room who's just like, yeah, I taught that student.
Heffron tells me she wants to see humans on Mars in her lifetime, and she believes her students could be the ones to get us there. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
The first of 2 storms has brought some much-needed moisture to the state. This is the view from Crested Butte tonight, where more than 8 inches have fallen since last night. And while the high country gets some snow, the metro area is seeing its own form of precipitation in rain. Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin tracking it all, and man, this is a welcome sight on both levels.
Oh, it's just been glorious. And most of the rain shower activity has come to an end in Denver, but the roads and the sidewalks are still wet out there. We've had a little bit of wind as that storm is rotating out of Colorado, but the snow continues in the mountains, and additional advisories may be posted as the next storm is already headed into the state. Temperatures colder tonight in the mid-40s downtown, mid-30s in the mountains. The winds are coming down just a bit, which is good. And there's still some heavy rain to track on northeastern Colorado plains out around the Otis and Flagler, Ray and Holyoke areas back to Sterling and Fort Morgan. Scattered snow showers in the northern and central mountains, but most of the rain now has come to an end in the Denver metro area for tonight. Some areas picking up 1/10 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch. The heavy rain will be pushing into Nebraska and Kansas. You're going to wake up to sunshine tomorrow, a warmer day, and then late in the day, a new storm and another round of mountain snow. For Denver, temperatures will hover in the 40s, hoping skies clear. There's a full moon tonight, the full pink moon. We'll continue to track the evening showers. We'll have another radar update coming up. Also, a little more snow coming for the mountains. We love this pattern. And how about the holiday weekend? We're going to talk about that forecast and the Rockies home opener in just a bit.
President Trump says the Iran war will last at least 2 more weeks. In a primetime address tonight, he touted the success of the military campaign, but offered little clarity on an exit strategy. It was his first national address since the conflict began more than a month ago. Since it started February 28th, Trump has offered shifting objectives and repeatedly said it could be over soon, while also threatening to widen the conflict. Tonight, the president vowed to continue hitting Iran hard.
We are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
Colorado's Democratic Congressman Jason Crow criticized the president's address, arguing Americans aren't getting the answers they're asking for.
No American is going to bed tonight with a more clear picture of what the end game is and when this is going to wrap up. He is digging into what is a war that Americans don't want.
President Trump is getting closer to the 60-day mark when he must seek approval from Congress under the War Powers Act to continue any military operations.
The U.S. Supreme Court appears skeptical of President Trump's push to limit birthright citizenship for people born on U.S. soil. On the first day of his second term, Trump signed an executive order that would upend the traditional understanding of a provision in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, known as the Citizenship Clause. The order would limit birthright citizenship to people who have at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. The order was immediately challenged and blocked by courts across the country. The U.S. Supreme Court has a 6-3 conservative majority, which repeatedly, we've seen, is ruled in Trump's favor over the last year. But the court handed him a major defeat in February when it ruled that his use of the broad use of tariffs was unlawful.
Tomorrow, Tina Peters will learn her fate of her appeal. The former Republican Mesa County clerk is serving a 9-year sentence for her role in orchestrating a breach of her own county's election equipment. It was in search of evidence of President Trump's false claims of election fraud. The Colorado Department Court of Appeals is considering whether she received a fair trial and appropriate sentence. No decision that the court makes tomorrow will result in her immediate release. That's because both sides can appeal. President Trump has been pushing hard for Peters' release, and Democratic Governor Jared Polis has said he'd consider granting her clemency. He's previously indicated to Colorado Democrats that he will wait for the Court of Appeals decision before taking any action. The decision is scheduled to be posted at 9 tomorrow morning. We'll bring it to you on air and online at 9news.com.
Jeffco Public Schools is looking into the possibility of using metal detectors at high schools following the shooting at Evergreen High School, but district leaders haven't made any decisions yet. Last September, a student shot and injured 2 of his classmates before turning the gun on himself. Afterward, the district decided to look into the possibility of putting metal detectors in schools. A study released this week found no clear evidence that they would reduce school violence. It determined that to be effective, they would need to be continuously staffed or have a closed campus policy. And it found the annual cost would be anywhere from roughly $250,000 to $450,000 per school. There would also be one-time costs for infrastructure upgrades. The district says no recommendation has been made. It says the report was just meant to ensure future decisions are informed by research.
Teachers in Sheridan schools in Arapahoe County are getting ready for a second day of striking. The union and district have been negotiating a new contract for months without any resolution. So the union started the strike this morning. The district closed all 5 schools for the remainder of the week, saying they won't have the staff to operate. Educators say they didn't take the decision lightly.
It was hard. It was very hard. We're obviously here for the kids. We love what we do. That's why we do it. But, you know, it's scary. It's very scary. But since we have come together as a team and we've supported one another, we thought we could do it, and we needed to do it.
During the strike, the district says it's providing grab-and-go lunches for students and families at Fort Logan Northgate.
As people anxiously wait to learn when they'll get their cars back from a collapsed parking garage in southeast Denver, we're hearing of some progress. The garage on the southeast corner of Yosemite Street and Jefferson Avenue collapsed over a week ago. Nobody was hurt, but 2 cars were crushed and many more stranded because the structure is unstable. The city of Denver says they're reviewing a permit application for emergency shoring. They hope to get that finalized within the next 2 days. So if you've noticed some work at the site, the city says that's okay. It's allowed in this situation because it's in response to an emergency and a permit application is already under review. A plan to replace Denver scooter and e-bike vendors is once again hitting a roadblock. Today, city council members delayed a vote on a 3-year contract with VO. That's the company hoping to replace Lime and Bird. Last month, members chose not to advance the agreement because they couldn't actually see the contract or details about how VO was chosen. Well, today, they raised concerns about not having enough time to look over that contract because it was sent to them last night. While they didn't vote, today council members were given an update on the low-income access program. It's currently free under Bird and Lime, but as 9 News pointed out last week, a provision in the VO proposal said if low-income rides make up more than 25% of all trips, the city helps cover the cost up to $1 million. After that, riders could be charged up to $5 a month. Dottie officials say they got rid of that provision.
I could see how that could make folks think that this is a bait and switch where we're just going to turn around and get through and do this, and then quickly all of a sudden it's not. And that was never the intention.
The city's agreement with Bird and Lime expires in the middle of next month. The committee will discuss the VO contract again 2 weeks from today.